Okay. So we are doing a review slash just kind of off the cuff video on Cabin in the Woods. We have just sat down and watched this movie, so we're going to talk about it.
Still fresh in our minds.
It's still fresh in our minds because he has a really bad memory, apparently.
Extremely
Specifically
heavy.
with movies.
Specifically movies.
In this case, a movie
Especially-
that came out 2 years ago.
Especially movies.
So 2 years ago, this movie came out, and surprisingly enough, Zach is the movie deprived of the three of us. Steven,
I'm probably the most...
the most movie deprived, or
No, that's
most,
me.
No, most...
most experienced
yeah.
with film. Steven's the most experienced with film. He had not seen this movie, and this asshole over here had.
Like this is the third time I've seen this movie.
Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah,
I'm
he
number 6
occasionally
myself.
sees movies that I haven't seen.
And then when it's a movie that
It's a very
Steven
rare
hasn't
occasion.
seen, Zach will watch it like 8 times before Steven gets a chance to see it.
I was actually planning on watching it eventually anyway, because I had found out that Joss Whedon was involved, and I like him, so.
He's a good writer.
Ever
Good-
since I
good
saw
thing.
Much Ado About Nothing,
Yeah.
I realized he was good at what he does. Avengers I thought was okay. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy better. Anyway, we should
Agreed.
probably
Which
talk
I-
about this movie.
Yeah,
You need to
we're-
see that,
I do
too.
need to see it.
It's like we're getting close to Halloween, so we figured it would be
Oh, yeah,
kind of
yeah,
a
yeah.
Halloween-themed video to do a horror movie. Of course, none of us could really agree on a horror movie until Zach
It had
brought
to
up
be a
Netflix.
movie we had all
Yeah.
seen.
Until we had Netflix. Yeah, and so Cabin in the Woods.
So we decided to sit down and watch it first.
And, yeah, this movie's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, if you guys haven't seen it, go see it.
Oh, by the
Do
way,
it
yeah,
now.
this contains spoilers, so...
It's going to be impossible to avoid them.
Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning brought to you in Vodka Vision.
Coming to you in Vodka Vision.
Vodka Vision.
Vodka Vision.
Coming to you in Vodka
I
Vision.
think that's going to have to be a sketch at some point.
Coming to you in Vodka Vision.
Yeah, just this Vodka Vision song.
Coming to you in Vodka Vision.
Yeah. We can work on composing it later.
So anyway, the story for this movie is basically every horror movie ever made.
Yes.
But they
All
do
the
it
cliches.
they do it cleverly because they actually make fun of it while they're actually doing it. Basically, it starts out with these college students, yeah. It's the stereotypical, the jock, the brain, the stoner, the pretty girl, the nerdy girl. All those guys, they get in a van and they're going out to, spoilers, Cabin in the Woods.
Like Scooby-Doo.
Exactly, yeah, but without the dog, interestingly enough.
I would say if there has to be a dog persona, the dog persona is probably the smart one. Is the
Quote,
closest you get.
The smart guy.
The smart guy is as close as you get, because he's not really a Fred type.
Yeah.
No.
I still think it's funny that, Steven, like every other horror film aficionado, assumed that, the black guy is going to die first.
Well, there is no... I said while we were
There's
watching
not
the
really.
movie... I said when we were watching the movie, I was like, well, there's no black guy in this movie, but there is a Hispanic
Well,
guy, so that's pretty close. So he's
he's-
probably going to die first.
He's like white-black.
He's darker skinned, yeah. But he didn't die first, interestingly enough, so that was... I was wrong on that, but...
Well, at least it's, Jesse Williams playing Holden McCree in that film is who we're talking about. Jesse, if you ever, for whatever reason, watch this, we apologize for any
Hey,
seemingly racist
it's not
remarks,
us
but
that are racist, it's the movies that are racist.
Except for the black guy. He was the blackest guy there.
actually, well, yeah, the actual African-American character was as close to black as
if you
the
watch-
movie got.
If you watch the Nostalgia Critic review of the Shining miniseries,
God.
because they actually have a black guy that they have in their videos, he paints himself white.
Black guy in blackface. Perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway, a good place to start, like any other place, is the beginning. What happens at the beginning of the
Yeah,
movie?
so the beginning is, we start out in this office that kind of looks like, just your stereotypical office. And these
room.
guys are talking. What is he riding on? Like a golf cart?
Yeah,
In
it's-
that one scene?
Yeah.
They're talking about like the weekend and having
Having childproofed his house.
having childproofed his house and like competing with Japan and stuff, and we don't really know what that means yet.
And then you get a jump scare out of the intro.
Exactly.
Cabin in the woods.
Title. So,
Yeah, this movie loves its jump scares.
of course, for the sake of parody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because jump scares are pretty overused.
Yeah.
We were actually talking about doing a horror movie parody that is just all jump scares. Remember on your
Yeah.
one post on Facebook,
Yep.
you were talking about the pan up.
Yeah. Well, that's not even a jump scare. That's just an overused.
Yeah, and then
filming
I
cliche.
suggested like every filmmaking cliche at one time. So it's
Yeah.
like the pan up, then the jump scare, then the dolly zoom, then shaky cam.
and then you see the musician who has nothing to do with what's going on. In any case, yeah, it's like talking about filmmaking cliches. This movie does a very good job of just
this
making fun of
movie,
them.
yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And no dolly cam. Not even once.
No, not even once. There was very little. There was a little handheld in a few scenes, but
Yeah.
no shaky cam.
Yeah, well, no intentional shaky cam.
Right.
Maybe faulty equipment, but no shaky cam.
I'm guessing this movie was fairly low budget.
Medium budget.
I mean, it's Joss Whedon, but he likes making small movies too. Like Much Ado About
That is
Nothing was
true.
small.
Let's see. We're gonna take.
We have to
pause here.
consult the internet to find out.
Yes. 17 awards and 25 nominations for this movie. Came out April 13th, 2012. Budget was $30 million.
That's a pretty small movie nowadays.
Opening weekend, it made half of that back. Its gross is about 1.5 times that.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
So, yeah, we get to them, and sorry, I'm bad at this. Where did I leave off at?
Where did we leave off at?
Cabin in the woods jump scare from the
Jump
office.
scares.
Scene.
Oh yeah.
Same,
And
yeah.
then so we meet the college students, and they're driving out, and they get to this gas station, and it's like the stereotypical crazy old man is like, "I warned you, you're all gonna die,"
And of course,
and
it
of
gets
course they
referenced-
keep going anyway.
Of course, it gets
Um,
referenced again later in the people who were working in the office straight up say, we put this guy out there.
It's
who
like
is
we
pretty
put
mu-
this guy out there, but they have to choose.
Yes, they have to choose that they're going to get themselves killed, even though this guy's blatantly saying if you go there you're going to die.
Exactly, but they're like, isn't that cheating? You're engineering. Basically, well, so we can talk about it better, we'll just go ahead and spoil the ending. Basically, the idea is that they're in this kind of reality show where they have to kill each other, but then we find out later that it's actually because there are some heathen gods or something that are going to destroy the world if they don't get sacrifices.
It's all very heavily
So,
referencing
it's
H.P.
set up-
Lovecraft.
Yeah.
It's set up like entertainment, but then there's that added layer on top
It's
of it.
very much a business.
Yeah.
It's all professional and very clean cut, and of course, with the references going towards H.P. Lovecraft rather frequently, it kind of makes sense that they would reflect his writing style with how cold everything is.
Yeah, it is very clinical. In fact, one scene, they're having like an office party in the thing while this girl's getting mauled by a zombie. And I'm sitting there watching this going, these are horrible people.
Yeah,
But it's all for a reason.
or there's the sex scene, and
Yeah.
every person in this office is gathered around the monitors watching the sex
They're just
scene.
gaping at it. Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah. It's too cold. Oh!
Your
We got
basic
to-
human needs
we got to see
disgusting.
some boobs. Is this PG-13?
No.
It's definitely an
It's
R-rated
R.
movie.
Because of boobs.
Well,
Does it make it automatically R if
no.
it's boobs?
Well, if you remember Titanic,
Right, that
which
was
came out in the
PG-13.
mid-90s, it was PG-13, but you only got brief nudity, and it was always
It was
in a
long enough for
quote-unquote
me.
artistic It was supposedly an
Context,
artistic
yeah.
context, because, of course, she was being used as a nude model in the one scene where she actually appears naked.
Right, there's no actual nudity in the sex scene.
Yeah, in the sex scene in that film, there's no nudity. Because it was a sex scene, that gave it the R rating. Use of the F word, obviously.
Yeah.
More than once in the film will give a film the R rating.
Yeah, there's...
Or an
There's a couple.
NC-17 if it's done as an independent film, but we'll talk about the Motion Picture Association of America bullshit at a later date.
It's like the TSA. It just makes you feel safe, even though you're not.
Yeah. Makes you feel safe even though they've reduced security standards. What else is there? Oh yeah, it's also the same as, God damn it, ESRB for video games.
Yeah. Same thing.
It's designed to
Even
squash
worse, actually,
small
though,
filmmakers.
because they don't even play the games that they rate.
That is true. They're given the samples, and they assume based on those samples that they've received a clear picture.
It's like you watched 5 minutes of the movie. That's the whole movie.
Though if they aren't given appropriate samplers, the ESRB guys will actually go in and play the games. And find a reason to give it the AO rating.
Yeah.
Even if it was, like something that would have been an E10 up, they'll give it an AO just so that it won't sell.
Yeah. Anyway, my favorite joke in this movie, which I have to go back to the beginning, is while they're driving to the cabin, they're on like a country road and you see an eagle flying. All of a sudden the eagle hits an invisible wall, almost like a video game, and then falls down dead.
Yep. Hit the edge of the sand.
And then so later they're escaping the cabin in the woods and they come to this ravine. It's not the same ravine.
It is, actually.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, because they had gone into the tunnel and couldn't get through.
And the guy's like, what are we going to do? Jump across? He's like, that's exactly what we're going to do. I called the line once he said it.
Of course, he
And-
also forgot that there was an invisible wall, so this guy started laughing his ass off.
Yeah, and he tries to jump the ravine, Evel Knievel style. And...
Yeah, this is Chris Hemsworth, by the way.
Yeah.
yeah, the guy from Thor and, Thor...
The guy from Thor and Thor 2 and...
And...
God damn it. Hunt for Red October? No.
No.
What?
Damn it. No, I'm thinking...
No, that's,
Damn it. The one with Chris Hemsworth and Josh Peck.
Movie the Movie?
No.
He is in that, though, right?
He is in Movie the Movie.
Yeah, but not Josh Peck.
Watch that! Jimmy Kimmel's Movie the Movie.
Oh, wait, no. He was in the Bitman Begins.
Charlie bit my finger!
Yep, with
No,
his brother.
Charlie! No!
He's, okay,
He is actually a pretty good actor.
Yeah, it was...
TV shows, Martial Law, Saddle Club, Fergus McPhail. He was
Star
George
Trek?
Kirk in Star Trek.
Oh.
He was Captain Kirk's
I
dad.
haven't seen any of the Star Treks.
Perfect Getaway, Cash.
I guess he's been in a lot more than I've seen him in.
Thor is definitely his breakout role.
And the Avengers. He was in the Avengers.
Thor, God of Thunder, the video game. Cabin in the Woods, The Avengers, Snow White,
Red
Huntsman,
Dawn.
Red Dawn.
That's the
remake,
one. Red Dawn was the one. I'm
Into
thinking of.
Darkness, Star Trek, Rush, Thor: The Dark World, movies that are coming out. He'll be in Black Hat, In the Heart of the Sea, and Avengers: Age of Ultron, amongst others. And as a note, I'm a fan of Chris Hemsworth. I think he's a cool guy. He's
I
he's
like
a good
him.
actor.
I didn't
Oh, yeah.
really like the second Thor movie. I thought it was kind of convoluted, but, he was good in it. He makes that character interesting, which is really hard to do.
Admittedly, Thor is kind of a flat character as it comes to Marvel, but I'm not a comic book guy.
I'm not
At least
really.
not much.
I mean, I like comics, but I don't read a lot of the...
This one maybe. The actual comic, not the movies.
I don't read a lot of the mainstream comics. I read a lot of, graphic novels and webcomics and stuff, so
Yeah.
I've only read a few, classic comic characters. You read, My Little Pony comics and
Yeah.
I'm big on
mostly
manga.
Doctor Who comics.
Well, not so much that. I'm definitely web comics. I'll watch some anime, cartoons,
I've read a little bit of manga, but not too much.
Manga.
manga.
We're gonna do that before the trolls get a chance.
The mango.
Manga. Yeah, the mango.
Hey, are you kids in here reading Mango?
Oh my God.
The animu and the mango.
If more than 10 people watch this video, be sure to get some comments.
Mangoes. I have a few.
You have a few mangoes?
No, Dad, it's called
Yeah.
anime.
Animu.
Honeymoon.
Honeymoon
I actually
mango.
want to do a skit about the annoying anime fan.
Oh, otaku.
Yeah,
Well, otaku.
It's called
I guess.
anime.
It's like, to be 100%.
Fuck you.
To be 100% honest, of the three of us, I'm the one who actually can
Yeah,
speak
he
Japanese.
is.
yeah.
And I am a bit of an otaku, but I also have the,
I mean, I like some anime.
Yeah.
I have gripes with it here and there, but, you know, whatever.
I have the benefit of some cultural perspective that these two lack.
The thing
That
is-
lets me hate on it in a realistic manner.
Exactly, yes. The thing is, I don't really hate anime as much as I hate most of its fan base.
Oh, that's an understatement.
Yeah, they're...
Same thing with Stephen King. I like Stephen King, but his fans are assholes.
I think that's
Feel
true. I think that's true with most fan bases.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time the fan base gets portrayed in such a way that they turn into assholes, whether or not they actually are. So to be 100% fair,
It's like, get a life, get a girlfriend, whatever, you know. Life's too short.
life's too short to be obsessed with one author and exclude all others.
Yeah.
You just don't understand King, man.
Now, I will be fair, when it comes to Stephen King and his contemporaries, he is the best out of,
Oh, yeah,
and
I
his
mean-
contemporaries. Dean Koontz, he can go suck a dick. He's awful. Was it Matheson is the other big one
I don't
that's kind of
even
contemporary to him?
I
very good.
I read Chuck Palahniuk.
Palahniuk. Well, he's not really a contemporary author anymore.
He's got 2 books coming out next year.
That's true. He does. I'm sorry, Mr. Palahniuk. I'll be sure to read them.
But yeah, he's not really Well,
He's not-
actually, no, he does horror.
He does psychological, but he doesn't really do.
Transgressive fiction.
Yeah.
I'm too ADD for books.
Yeah, it's like this guy over.
I don't
You
read-
say you're too ADD for books, but you're able to sit through Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Because it was very engaging. I absolutely loved Hitchhiker's
But you
Guide.
sit down and watch like 300 hours of Dragon Ball Z. How does that make sense?
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've strayed very far away from the cabin
It's
in the woods.
okay,
We need
it
to go
doesn't
back
matter.
there and get killed.
So yeah, basically,
Hitting the wall. Yeah, hitting
so
the wall.
basically, the people in the office are engineering the people in the cabin to get into a cellar downstairs.
And to die in a specific order.
And down in the cellar are a bunch of these various objects. There's a book, there's a seashell, there's
A puzzle box, a music box,
A
old
necklace.
films.
Yeah, necklace.
basically,
wedding dress.
we find out later that basically whichever one of them does this specific thing rises whatever
Yeah, whatever-
whatever is going to kill them.
Whatever
So-
object is triggered
So
first.
if the guy did something with the shell, we would have gotten a merman.
We still got the
haven't-
merman.
We got him,
hands.
but not, that
Not
one.
in that
Not yet.
context.
So this one girl reads a book. It's actually kind of exactly like the scene in The Mummy where she reads the book.
The Book of the Dead. Yeah.
The Book of the Dead.
Versus the
I
Journal of...
like that movie.
I did like The Mummy as well.
Some people do.
It was also kind of a remake. But-
it's totally a remake.
It is totally a remake.
Um,
Okay, it wasn't even close to the movie it was based on, though. So
no, not at all.
Not even a little.
Loosely
The name
based.
of the mummy is the only thing that's the same.
Imhotep. Yeah.
Imhotep.
They used Ardeth Bay too.
That is
Well, even the original movie was hardly even based on the book that it was based on. So.
it's like for those of you familiar with I Am Legend, what that
Oh,
was
yeah,
based
yeah.
on. It's like it was based on a book called I Am Legend, which was turned into a movie called The Last Man on the Earth, which was turned into The Omega Man. And then the final remake that has the correct title is more of a remake of The Omega Man.
Movie execs be like, we need Will Smith in there.
Yeah, really, it's actually like we need Will Smith playing a guy who is white. Pretty clearly white.
The whitest black man you
We
know.
need to appeal to our demographics.
Of course, to be
We have a
100%,
demographic?
100% fair, at least from my perspective, the book is more about the rather rampant nature of post-apocalyptic sexuality. But
Oh, yeah.
that's a different story.
There's a cracked article that's like 5 movie remakes that totally missed the point of the original, and that
Yep.
was on there.
Yeah, they didn't talk about the sexuality bit. They were talking more about the the fact that that character was the monster, because he was the only person left
Right,
who,
exactly.
who was the way he was, and he was basically a mass murderer at that point. Of course, they also, he accepts his fate and dies.
Kidding.
Which,
I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's
I haven't
not
seen it either.
the remake, but I've heard the original is okay.
Last Man on the Earth was as close as a film got.
That
to
might have
capturing-
been also on one of their lists of movies that Hollywood keeps remaking,
Yes, it was.
along with You've Got Mail. Yeah, because
What?
it's like, that movie was The Shop Around the Corner,
That's right.
and then they did another one in the 70s, and then You've Got Mail, which I've seen.
It's such a bad movie.
It's bad.
Anyway, we are really badly ADD right now because it's kind of late.
Yeah, people like it. I watch stuff like this.
Hooray for ranting on tangents!
Ranting on tangents.
Yes.
Redundant Department of Redundancy.
Exactly.
Redundant video is redundant.
Yep. Yeah, actually, being 2 years late with this review
There's
and all.
a cat down here if you're wondering what that stray.
No,
Big ass fat cat.
Big ass fat cat.
Yes.
How
Truly-
fat cats get fat?
Fat cat is fat.
Fat cat went to the cabin in the woods and killed.
So yeah, anyway,
Alright.
after they get to the cellar, the girl who picks up the book reads it, and some zombies rise and come to kill them.
Not just zombies, but
Redneck torture.
Redneck zombies
zombie redneck torture family.
with husband bulges.
He's got a husband bulge.
There's this one line in that. I'm guessing it means
It means exactly what you think it means.
boner
Boners.
He's got a boner. In Vodka Vision.
in vodka in 3D.
Coming to you.
The world's
in
very
Vodka
first
Vision
3D porno.
That's already happened.
It has?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a thing.
Really?
Yeah, there's also VR porn.
Damn you, Rule
Already.
34.
Oh yeah. The Oculus Rift. Porn.
Thanks to Oculus Rift, there's going to be virtual reality porn as well. So for all of you,
Oh, well, that's been around forever.
all three of you perverts who are watching our video, be prepared. Chafing will happen.
We're very knowledgeable about.
Lucky
Hey, this
boy.
guy's actually met porn stars, so. Yeah.
Lucky bastard.
I don't know, I feel
Dear
like it would
God,
ruin
this
the
guy-
illusion for me. More than, the porn itself already does.
Well, they weren't nice people. It might, but, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense for it to be a day job, right? They're doing all sorts of jobs.
The
through
problem
day.
I would have, though, is being a porn actor, you couldn't jerk off before you go to work.
No. That would also defeat the purpose.
I don't know. Get that first easy one out.
Well, that's only good if the easy one is small.
If you're a girl, you can do it as many times as you want.
Might want lubricant.
Anyway,
Anyway, away from that incredibly awkward subject.
so yeah, after the zombies rise, they start killing people. The fornicators, the jock and the whore, I don't remember their names, and you
Jules
don't really have to.
and I don't
And Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth.
They go off to the woods to fornicate, and if horror movies have taught us anything, is that
People who have sex
people who
die
have
first.
sex die first. No, literally every movie, like Jaws and
Yeah, even-
Dante's Peak,
Speaking of terrible movies.
and yeah. Anybody who goes off to have sex, something is going to happen to them. Or the little kid who wanders off, like Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, wait, no. Was it a kid? No, kid didn't wander off in 3. It was the second.
Or that was the second
was
one.
Lost.
Yeah.
No,
No, that one
survived,
was
but
the
third
teenage kid was there.
Yeah, that was in the third one. There was a teenager who landed on the island.
Yeah,
and he
yeah, yeah.
survives.
That movie's stupid.
Yes, it is. Though it was the first time that the dinosaurs were, CGI and didn't look like someone had their hand up its ass.
Oh yeah, the first one's really good.
Oh yeah, I mean the first two movies are
But
fun.
the third one is bad, and the second one's not very good.
Yeah, the
either.
third one has the worst writing that I've ever seen.
The second one I can watch every now and then.
Also,
I
Jurassic
don't
Park.
think it's good, but
Jurassic Park is its own genre too. Because half the time you watch it, you're thinking, is this an action movie? No, not really.
Is
Not
this
enough
action? Is
Action,
it science
horror,
fiction?
Is it horror? No. It's not really scary.
It's not really scary.
Though it tries to do jump scares.
And, it succeeds the first time you see it.
It's mildly successful.
I mean, the Velociraptor sequence is a good sequence.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Suspenseful. It's suspense, This movie, I would say, is more suspenseful than it is horror because there's not... until the end, there's not a whole lot of blood. Until this one scene where there's a fuck ton.
Until suddenly the walls are nothing but oceans of blood.
Most of it...
Yeah, it's worse than the elevator scene
The
from
thing
Kubrick's
is-
Shining.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of it is in the shadows, so a lot of people getting dragged off into the darkness, so it's not gross out kind of
It's not torture
horror
porn.
movie. Yeah, it's not like Saw.
Yeah,
I don't really like Saw or
Scream or
Torture porn.
I wouldn't say Nightmare on Elm Street. Friday the 13th, rather. Nightmare on Elm Street definitely has gore, but it's it's not really a slash flick. There's still a psychological element to Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. Well, definitely.
Yeah.
Given that, he exists entirely within the psyche of the people he's killing.
But like I said before, this movie is both a parody send-up of the horror film and is a horror film too. Like, it is genuinely scary in certain places.
Like when?
Well, we've seen it like
Genuinely-
5 times
Yeah,
each.
true.
Genuinely suspenseful, let me say. I mean,
The first time you see it, there are definitely moments that you get your heart going, and you're like,
it's
what's gonna
not
happen?
scary in the way that, like, Silence of the Lambs is
No,
scary.
no. Okay, stuff like Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal, those are psychologically
Yeah.
frightening, because you're thinking, this guy is very realistic.
But it has suspense.
Right.
Like, I wanted to know what happened. I was involved.
Yeah. And as from the perspective of a writer and an editor, when you're talking about meta film, meta theater, there are very few writers who are able to really capture that well.
Yeah.
Historically speaking, it was something Shakespeare did rather frequently. Christopher Marlowe, who was a contemporary of Shakespeare's, died first, but that's beside the point. They did meta theater, and Joss Whedon, who produced Cabin in the Woods, Drew Goddard was the director. He also produced, and I think he also directed Much Ado About Nothing, which had a few of the same actors.
Yeah.
And the play, the Shakespearean play that was based on, was meta theater. You're talking about roles that were stereotypical of the time, and seeing them played on and made a joke out of. So
And I also saw something about how Frozen is kind of that way, too.
a little bit.
Like, it's a love story, fairy tale thing about love stories and fairy tales.
Yeah, and it chooses to focus on the love between siblings
Yeah.
as a way of,
It's like we're gonna do the same thing, but in a completely different way.
yeah. And it did it well. To be fair, though, I fucking hate hearing any part of its soundtrack at this point. But it was a good movie.
It's so goddamn overplayed.
I didn't.
Yes.
I didn't actually like the songs in the movie even the first time.
I thought they were okay.
One thing they need to do is they need to let it go.
Very few moments ago, I beat one of my friends to death. That was one of them.
It had to be said. I'm sorry.
Did it? I don't think so. But, yeah, I mean, meta theater is a very challenging thing to do because you're having to concentrate on being existential without being intentionally existential or expositional. It's like you aren't going to say outright, "Hey, I'm clearly talking about this genre that I'm in."
It's done badly a lot on TV shows and stuff.
Yeah. A good example, the show Community. Don't get me wrong, love Dan Harmon.
I've seen like 2 episodes, so
But
I can't
he did
really
a D&D episode. I don't remember which season. But they kind of did a metagame storytelling thing with that episode.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't that well done.
You have to know and like You have to know a lot about the subject that you're making fun of in order to truly make fun of it well.
And I think Dan Harmon understands D&D, but I don't think he understands enough about live-action filmmaking. To be fair, Mr. Harmon, Rick and Morty is awesome. Keep doing it.
Yeah. That's kind of like Back to the Future.
Yes, it is.
That's Back to the Future, the series.
Yes, and it's very good. Rick and Morty is awesome. I'm glad Community got canceled. I'm sorry.
Morty. I actually need to see more of that.
I need to watch.
I watched an episode of it online. Usually Adult Swim will release one episode of whatever show's coming out.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was funny.
It is a well done show. But when you're talking about meta theater, you've got to be subtle with the fact that you're doing meta theater. You don't want to be blatantly saying,
aha, look at us, we're so clever.
yeah, if you're doing meta theater, don't break the fourth wall. If you're doing a parody, you can break the fourth wall a bit. Pure parodies, stuff like Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Could have done with fourth wall breaking, and it has a couple scenes that are like that.
That is still one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it falls in the realm of a loving tribute to the subject.
Yeah.
And having knowledge of the subject versus clearly hating the subject and making fun of it. So
Right.
it's a difference between Cabin in the Woods and Shaun of the Dead on this side and Scary Movie on the other side.
Parody is dying.
And any of the Wayans parodies.
Or anything just like epic movie, pirate movie,
Wayans movies.
teen movie.
I need some Mel Brooks comedy.
Yeah, I know, right? He did it well.
Oh, yeah.
Spaceballs, Young Frankenstein.
The smart comedies.
The smart parody,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know they're making a Zelda cartoon series.
Again?
I saw
What?
No, but it's gonna be like a Blue Harvest type thing where they go through it. Yeah, I saw a post the other day on it. There's a Kickstarter for it.
I am not contributing to this.
No.
Ever.
No.
After the last time Legend of Zelda had an animated series.
Excuse me. I actually posted that as a comment on his post on Facebook. I was like, you gotta reference that. And the guy who's running the Kickstarter liked my post as it.
Excuse me,
But
princess.
yeah, I'll look it up and show you guys later.
Okay, the one rule that they need to have with any Legend of Zelda cartoon is that Link should not speak.
He does speak in this thing. That's
Fuck that
kind of
then.
a problem.
Fuck that.
If anything, okay, I absolutely love the Legend of Zelda series, including the fact that Link does not really speak.
Yeah.
Wind Waker, he has the most words, but he still doesn't actually have speaking roles. To the point that I actually have a little thing called the Link syndrome, where a character just does not speak throughout the entire picture.
Yeah. Well, that's, classic video game tradition. Mario doesn't talk, Donkey Kong doesn't talk.
Yeah, actually,
Here it is. Legends of Zelda animated movie parody by Ricky Jones.
Oh, parody.
Oh, it's a parody, so...
Okay, if it's a parody,
That's
I
something
might
different.
contribute. I might.
It depends.
That's what it says on the thing is, I have really crappy service here.
I was like, I'm connected to the Wi-Fi, so...
Same.
In any case...
You have
so,
really crappy Wi-Fi here, too.
Anyway, enough about meta theater. Let's just... I can wrap
I'll
this up
show
with
you
a
later.
neat little bow. Cabin in the Woods does it right.
Yeah, we like it. We give it an A+
Yes.
or whatever. So this is fun. I think we'll keep doing this.
And then...
This guy needs to see more movies, so this might be a way that we can do that.
Yep.
I am not well versed in movies. I am not worthy of criticism.
And he wants to write stuff, so he's got to
I got a lot
see
of
more.
practice.
Movies do help.
I understand.
If
that,
nothing
but-
else, there's a good 90%.
Pretty much everything
of
I've written,
films-
I've stolen.
It's like 90% of all films teach you how not to write. The other 10% teach you how
Right.
to write well for the screen. It's same thing with video games.
read screenplays too.
Yes, obviously. Of course, you guys might remember Zach and I did a video game review this past week. It will
Yeah.
have been 2 weeks ago by the time this video gets posted, I expect. But we'll be continuing to do those. That's kind of his and my domain. We might do
Yeah.
a few individually because I've got a better running PC so I can do some more new PC games that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Zach is definitely going to be your console guy, specifically with regards to Nintendo.
Nintendo fanboy, I'm sorry.
And as a note, you're not going to see a lot of Microsoft or Sony reviews out of either of us.
Yeah.
I gave up on Microsoft after the Xbox 360, especially since most of the games that come out on their console also come out on PC.
I gave up after PlayStation 2. So.
He gave up a
same
long
here.
time ago.
I'm not a video game guy.
I gave up on PlayStation 2 as well.
It's like, yeah, PlayStation 2 had some great content. some
Jack
great
and
games.
Daxter kicked ass.
Shadow of the Colossus was great.
I actually liked Kingdom Hearts.
I liked Kingdom Hearts too.
It was, to me, it was a mechanically
Also,
good
not
game.
the second one.
Yeah. You'll probably see some nostalgia reviews out of
Yeah, if
Zack
these
and
guys want to review a game that I played, like Super Mario Brothers or something, the original Mario Kart,
God.
Well, we could do Mario Kart as a series.
yeah, like every Mario Kart, except I haven't played them in years.
Whatever.
I haven't played any Mario Kart since like the GameCube.
If we can go sit over there and play Mario Kart.
I've played every one except for
So
the
that's-
old arcade ones. I
that's-
haven't played the Super Nintendo one.
That's mostly these guys' domain is video games. I'm planning on doing some video reviews on some TV shows and movies. Like I need to finish up watching Twin Peaks, and I'm planning on doing a video on that. So
And I'll be bringing in tabletop games and probably some book reviews soon.
yeah, and we do our written skits when we have time, basically, to film them. We originally conceived the channel to do those, but those are really hard to get together. This is just kind of us hanging out on a Thursday, so.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
actually, in regards to that, we'll probably start doing a video log once a week just to
Yeah,
update you guys
we
on
wa-
what's in the works.
We want to just have new content out all the time, so that you're not just like, these guys never post anything, I'm not following them. So.
Yeah. Please,
At least you'll have something and find it entertaining. hopefully.
tell your friends, let them know what we do, and hopefully word will spread.
And if you have a movie or TV show or game or something that you want us to review and talk about, feel free to leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
And until then, we'll catch you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So yeah.